All right, howdy everyone. Frankie here, New West Reset. Hello. How's it going? Welcome back to another Boots on the Ground video. I appreciate you shooting in and joining me here for this one. We're having a look at the old Mewata Armoury. We're on the corner of 8th Avenue and 10th Street Southwest. Now we've looked at this thing in the past, but it was with my old camera where the phone either didn't have a zoom or a guy just didn't know how to work the zoom. So we're back to have a better look at it with the zoom and the gimbal, so you're not getting so much shaky stuff going on here. So yeah, it's a beautiful day here today. The sun's hitting it just right, so we can get in there and check out the thing overall, check out some of the details all around it. And we're going to head around to the back, which we couldn't get to the last time I was here, which I think was a couple of years ago now, if memory serves. They were doing some construction or renovations to the back of this thing, so we couldn't really see anything back there at the time. So I think that's over and done with now, and we can get back there. So we'll see what we can see. Stick around. I'll be right back.
About a heaven in Alberta, where they've got all hell for a basement.
Alrighty, and we're back. So as you can see, this thing just resembles an old-timey castle, because I guess that's how you built armories back in, 1917 is when they say this was built, by the way. And it's a one-year wonder, by the way. It took them a year to build this thing. And I fibbed slightly. It's not 10th Street and 8th Avenue Southwest. It's 11th Street and 8th Avenue Southwest. My mistake. Sorry about that. Got a red light here, so we can just kind of stand here and zoom in on all the amazing stuff going on with this building. And it's an armory because they got tanks parked in front, so it's always been an armory. It was never a castle at one time, because Canada doesn't have castles, they say. Look at this thing, man. Red brick, sandstone, and just everything that you would want to see. And the castle is right here. There's the date, so it's legit, 1917. The drill hall there with a scrubbed cartouche or a blank coat of arms shield or something. But you gotta have turrets and little slit holes to rain arrows down on your enemies as they try to storm the castle. I mean the armory. Stuff like that. As big and imposing as this place is, I gotta tell you, let me just zoom out here. I gotta tell you, that main entrance is looking rather stumpy. Looking very stout, is it not? I mean, the whole building here looks actually like it should be a little bit taller. I mean, all these low windows down here are definitely cluing me into the fact that it has a lower level. When you look up online information about this place, it says that it does have a basement that has a bowling alley and a firing range. So, you want to do your firearms sharp shooting training, you're going to do it in the basement of a castle, of course. Of course. Don't be silly. Anyway, I've got the light here, so I'm going to cross and we'll have a better look at this thing. Now, it's still part of the Canadian Armed Forces. It's home to the Army Cadets, the Air Cadets, the King's Own Calgary Regiment, and the Calgary Highlanders, which is an infantry brigade, I'm guessing. I don't know about military stuff, but it's a military brigade where they wear kilts and sporrans and all that, because Canada and kilts, that's the first thing I'm sure you think of when somebody says Canada. Oh yeah, that country where they wear kilts, they wear tartan kilts and play bagpipes. I don't get it. Anyway, there's a button and a plaque on this thing. Let's check it out, and while we're checking it out, we can get a closer look at these low windows and the sandstone. So it's a provincial historic resource. It's actually on the National Registry as well, and the city registry. So I don't know why it doesn't have those buttons. I don't know how well you're going to be able to read this thing, but I'll do what I can here. I'll hold it up. And if you want to pause that and get a load of that, then yeah. So yeah, 1916 they start, and in 17 it's done. 1 year wonder. So this is that locally sourced sandstone that we hear about so often. Rough hewn, and then this more smooth with this sort of serrated finish on it. Super duper low windows all around the bottom of this thing. And of course they're underneath, you know, all the other windows. They directly line up. So you've got, you know, window, window, window. And they're really low. In fact, they've had to put a little retaining wall out of concrete here. All kinds of pebble mix, aggregate and stuff to try to funnel moisture and rain and all that away from the building, I'm guessing. There's some old tank here on some old military bridge structure. Alright, so there's the tank. Let's get a better look at some of the details here. And these little turrets up top, they're beautiful, but again, it's sandstone. So, I mean, a lot of extra work, a lot of extra bother for, you know, that early time frame here in Calgary. 1916, 17, population of Calgary was, I'm trying to remember. Somewhere around 50, maybe 60,000. But when this land was, I think, donated by the city of Calgary for use for this armory so they could build it here, this was almost the edge of town, or the edge of the city limits. 14th Street at the time was. We're on 11th Street now, so just another, you know, 3 blocks west of here was the town limit. Everything beyond that was graze land, farmland that was leased by CP Rail to cattle ranchers so they could graze their cattle, but it was all owned by the railroad. So they had the presence in mind to build this back then, right at basically at the outskirts of town. But right on Stephen Avenue where the old tram, the streetcar trolley used to run, and it used to basically come up Stephen Avenue right here, right there, this intersection here, and then it would either turn and go northbound or southbound at this intersection. So I guess if you were in the military, you could just ride the tram to the armory here. I don't know. You can see the huge dental molding up there with the sandstone right along the top. Again, that scrubbed cartouche or coat of arms shield. Castle-like structure here above the main entrance. Big massive arches up there. Not the windows, but above the windows, you know? Let's take a look at this door. Slopes upwards here too, if you hadn't noticed already. And it continues to slope upward inside as well. They may kick me out of here because of national defense, but I mean, technically it's federal property, which is public property, but because it's military, I don't know. They do have cameras everywhere in here, though. So that entrance looking, again, very small compared to the grandeur of the front of this place overall, you know? It just keeps going. This is the north wing. So that brickwork combined with that sandstone. First of all, I like the combination of the sandstone and the red brick. I've said it before, the color combination is beautiful. They both really highlight each other and complement each other really well. But just exquisite, nice, tight brickwork on here. They didn't arch these windows, but they did do that sort of fan design above them with the brickwork. So I don't know if they're trying to emulate an arch, like a faux arch, or if it's just a little extra detail that I guess they had all the time, money, and resources in the world to do. Getting these massive sandstone blocks all around the perimeter, which I suspect were actually added onto, you know, the rough hewn and then the smoother finish above it. There's actually brick in behind that, I think. This is not the foundation. I think this is a phony foundation made to look like it's the structural foundation of the building. And here's another door in this wing too. Same as that other side, wooden door, little window inside. And just a little light fixture up top. But again, that pointed arch, beautiful brickwork there. And you can see even in these turrets, those little windows, so you can, you know, rain arrows down on your enemies, I guess. Dental molding everywhere again. Exquisite. We got here some other military vehicle, some other armed tank. It's a little track tank thing. I don't know what it is. Interesting old. This looks like WW1 tech to me. The other one WW2. This one could be earlier than that. WW1 maybe. I don't know. Again, I'm not that familiar with military weaponry and armored vehicles and so on and so forth, artillery and all that stuff, so I don't know. If you know, let me know in the comments, because I do find it interesting. I just don't know much about it. Another blank or scrubbed cartouche or shield up there. Now, why put that big massive hunk of sandstone all the way up there? If you're just going to leave the thing blank there, bud, what's going on there, eh? I don't know. As mentioned, beautiful day here today. It's just before the noon hour sort of lunch rush, so it's pretty quiet right now. Gives the guy a chance to kind of poke around here with minimal interruption. Perfect dog walking weather. Love your dogs, really cute. And absolutely no response from that lady. Anyway, I'm going to pause it here. I'm going to head down to the side and have a look at the side of this thing. Just the south-facing side. Then we won't have any glare. And then we'll get around to the back, which is the west-facing side. So if you just stick with me for another moment here, I shall be right back. Alright, so this is the south-facing side of the building. This is the front here that we just had a look at all along here. You can see again, towers, turrets. Why am I stuttering today? It's because it's hot out. It's already almost 30 degrees Celsius here, which is getting into the low 90s Fahrenheit for all my American friends. So maybe the heat's getting to a guy already. But again, arches galore, sandstone all over the place. Scrubbed or blank cartouches or shields on it, and of course that pitched roof gable end there with, I'm guessing, some kind of chimney on the very top there. It's a little skinny to be a chimney, but I don't know. And again, all that beautiful dental molding all along here, all done in sandstone. All these bands along here are all sandstone as well. And again, on this side, as well as the north-facing side, which we couldn't really see too well, so I didn't bother filming it, but just a bunch of low windows down here. So low, in fact, they got to put a little fencing, like metal fencing in front of there, because you know you can't have your highly trained specialized soldiers falling down and breaking their legs in there, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, we obviously can't get into this parking lot right here because it's marked private property, do not enter, Department of Defense. Trespassers will be yelled at by guys with bars on their shoulders. But this is just a public parking lot here. So there's a big public park in behind this, I almost said stadium, the Mewata Armoury. There's a big park in behind it, so this is all publicly accessible parking here. But we can get a good look through this chain link fence. Again, there's them low windows. And again, underneath the, you know, the sets of windows, we have window, window, half buried window. And that big sandstone block all along the bottom there too. Later on I'll pull back a little bit so we can have another look at this thing from a little bit behind me, a better vantage point of it. But you can see this thing is huge, man. It is huge. You know, Calgary was just a, you know, a Wild West little one-horse hick town at the time that they built this thing. Why you would need such a massive castle-like structure for your armory is beyond me. Armory and drill hall, I guess. You can see that brickwork on these rounded turrets is just exquisite. Nice and tight. And even around the back too, you know. Towers and turrets and dental molding and sandstone and peaked arches. We didn't really get a chance to look, as mentioned, at the back of this thing last time, but I think we can now. So yeah, let me pause it here for a second. Let's do just that, shall we? All right, here we are. So as mentioned, this is the west-facing side of the thing. It's just as embellished, just as beautiful, and just as castle-like. It's getting hot, and I'm just in a big open empty newly covered parking lot here. This actually used to be all grass and stuff here, but you know, you gotta pave paradise and put up a parking lot. So on the back here, which they do not have on the front, are these brick towers here, sandstone on top, the little cap on top. At least I figure in that sandstone. I don't know, let's look. Nope, that's actually concrete. It's got aggregate and pebble mix in it, so yeah, that's concrete, just made to look like sandstone, so it kind of matches the building. So I guess those were built after the fact, maybe. Or they just couldn't bother putting sandstone caps on these. They just went with the concrete, and they were built at the same time as the structure. I don't know for sure, but you can see here, main entrance at the back. Basically about the same size as in the front. And again, that peaked arch with that beautiful brickwork there. It's actually done in layers too, successive layers. Must be hot in there. There's a lot of open windows. Not a lot of air conditioning going on in this old world brick mud flooder. There's that other matching little wooden door here. Again, with the recessed window inside there. And the peaked arch, the brickwork. Got some more military vehicles. As you can see, this north-facing side, with with all the cars parked, and there's really no way to see in here with all the vehicles. So, but I do notice that they've poured, I'll see if I can get you in there, I don't know if I can or not, but they've poured a concrete sort of a retaining wall in front of the sandstone blocks on that lower course there. You see right in front of that white pickup truck. So they've got that concrete and then the sandstone and then the brick. Very, very interested indeed. Very interesting. All right, I'll pause it here. Be back in a moment. You can see it's got a big, huge metallic peaked roof on the thing too. And so I'm going to run across 9th to 9th Avenue here and get a shot at this south-facing side because it's quite interesting as well. It's a big, massive arch with glass and everything. But that, now, upon second look, now that is in fact that chimney. That's a chimney right there, which the other end does not have. So yeah, that's interesting. Whew, the sun's beating down on a fella. I gotta get out of here. All right, so let me get one last wide shot here of this this end, and then I'm gonna finish it up here for the day. Hang tough. I'll be back in just a moment. So you can see that massive arch, which is sort of split in the middle for that to accommodate that chimney, and then all of that glass. Now those aren't those crappy glass blocks like that redneck skylight. Those are actually individual panes of glass, and they're framed in so that you can actually open sections of them. But you can definitely see why a lot of people, myself included, have theorized that these at one time served a different purpose, and after the reset they were redesignated. They were fixed up and redesignated to have a different purpose. And many of these armories have a very similar look to them, whether you're up here in Canada land, down in the US, or across the pond in Europe and the UK. And many people have proposed that these were actually airship or dirigible hangars. Airships would kind of fly and hover up here, hook up, and people could disembark and then come down. And this would be like a train station, but for the airships instead. And the fact that a lot of them have a huge massive arch either on one end or on both ends lends to the idea that it was a hangar where a dirigible could actually pull right in, be have repairs or maintenance work done on them, that sort of thing. And then later on these buildings were altered and redesignated as armories or forts or prisons, or they could have very easily called this the old prison for Calgary, right? But nope, they decided to go with the armory narrative on this one. So there you go. So I think that's going to do it. That is going to seal the deal here today for Frankie, New West Reset, and our way overdue full, complete 360 look, or revisit, I should say, of the Mewata Armoury here in Calgary. Once again, 11th Street, 8th Avenue Southwest, just in the west end of the downtown core. So as always, I'm very interested to hear what you think about this old place. So let me know down in the comments below. If you would kindly do all the other stuff out down there to help a fella out, that'd be great. And until the next one, take care out there and have yourselves a good one. All right, cheers.